Welcome to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We got Rob off campus, his own campus today.
Yep. I am on location. I'm doing some on-site work at my job. It's pretty cool. It's a good week, but we are here and ready to go and talk about another epic victory for our Dallas Renegades.
No.
Oh, wait, what? What?
No.
Do they know?
No.
They don't know what victory is. So we're going to talk about yet another loss. Some Jason Kidd news, and are we going to get a Jaylen Brown versus Stephen A. Smith celebrity boxing match soon?
Yeah. I just wanted to get your reaction of that, Rob. So I can't wait to get into that with other sports. I was hoping to talk about the Jacoby Brissett situation just because I find it really funny. I know this is supposed to be, more on a Homer side, but I just found that situation funny.
He's a legendary Patriot. He's got a ring. He's got a ring.
Okay. All right. We could tie him in on the Patriots side. Just get your reaction to that. But then Jason Kidd, big news comes down, and now that kind of got me skewed away from that. So we'll definitely get into that with other sports. And of course, we're going to talk about what's going on around the UFL too in Homer headlines. But I don't even know why we have this segment anymore. We could talk about the Renegade rundown right now. Rob, do you want to?
You did promise a Renegade safe space, so
I did in the chat.
We don't need to spend a ton of time on it, but let's do it.
God, well, I don't know about that. I got a lot to say, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Let's do it.
All right. So the Renegades started hot with a 10-0 start against the Orlando Storm, and disaster struck immediately after, Rob. And because of that, go ahead.
It was a game in the first half.
It was too, and it was only a 7-point game, so it feels like it. I mean, we got the results right here too. If you guys missed it, 31-24. But boy, that defense could not do anything in the first or second quarter. And I've been saying it for quite some time, and I just wanted to bring it up since we're not going to talk about the Orlando Storm outside of this segment. Is I'm going to gear my focus a little more on the Orlando Storm, and I actually looked at their point differential by quarter. This has got to be one of the worst good football teams starting terrible. Right now, in the first quarter, they are minus 11 every time. Or minus 11 for the entire season. Minus 11 for the entire season. And only plus 9 in the fourth quarter. So, Rob, they're plus 25 heading into this game, before this game. Where are they getting all their points?
The second and third quarter?
They're dominating, and that tells me that I'll tell you what, Anthony Beck does not have a good game plan going into these games. I think a lot of teams know how to attack the Orlando Storm going into it, and then he's a hell of a coach adjusting on the fly. We tried to run zone at him. We tried to run man-to-man at him. It didn't make a difference. Whatever we did, we tried to disguise coverages. We even have a good secondary with Sean Wade and Stephen Jones, and they were picking us apart. They were picking us apart all game long, and it's not like they were.
The drops did not help.
That did not help. I mean, we'll get into why. I think this is now a runaway for Jack Plummer or not Jake Plummer as we call him on this show, to probably win the MVP because of the recent news with Te'amu that we'll get into with the DC Defenders later on. But yeah, overall, really good game for Jack Plummer. He went 24 for 36, 238 yards. One good stat is we kept him out of the end zone, so we did a good job there, but they were able to run it in all the time anyway, and so that didn't stop them. You got Chris Rollin, my favorite wide receiver of that group, 9 receptions for 91 yards. He looks unstoppable, especially in this UFL. Just how short shifty he is. This is a perfect match. I love the fact that the NFL kind of got away from the short shifty wide receivers because now you can do taller wide receivers like a CD Lamb type that is capable of doing that kind of stuff. Chris Rollin, the UFL just implements it. They're like, yeah, we could still do this kind of stuff. We don't get that kind of freak athlete, so we're gonna get Chris Rollin, the shorter guy, to do it. And you get 9 receptions, 91 yards. Cam Camper got 3 receptions, 54 yards. Elijah Badger, 4 receptions, 39 yards. And KJ Hamler, not much of a factor in this game.
He had a key play, though. He had a key play.
He did have a big play, if you can get into that one, Rob.
It was his kick return. He set up.
Yeah.
He flipped the field.
Yeah, he did flip the field, and they just had us second, third, fourth quarter. It just we did not look good out there. Now, the one good thing, if you're going to be positive about anything, Austin Reed, stats wise, it doesn't look good. But you mentioned it, Rob. The drops were terrible.
Yeah, that last pick shouldn't have been a pick. That's the receiver's fault.
Oh,
catch the ball.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of
let it go.
And there were a couple of conversions that happened too. That he threw it over to them, and they ended up just dropping the ball. He only went 12 for 24, 134 yards, and 1 interception that I wouldn't even blame Austin Reed for. He looked crisp. He looked good to me. I didn't have a problem with.
He's bouncing back from his midseason crash, and
against a good defense too. It's not like the Orlando Storm or any joke. So I think he's breaking his yips. I think he's learning, hey, I could throw it short too, and I can actually evolve my game. And this is a good sign for the Renegades in the future if we have a league, and that's another debate, into the 2027 season. If we end up keeping Austin Reed, I think this is going to be a good setup and good future ahead, because we know he's got the arm talent. We know he's got the accuracy. It's just up here. You just need to work on your game. But he's not ready for
NFL or the CFL. He's stuck in the UFL until he grows up a little bit more.
Yeah, and he can. I can actually see the maturity level increase. And for Austin Reed's career sake, I hope he stays in the UFL, because it's going to be the closest you can get to the NFL until then. And he's learning a lot already with Neuheisel. You got a really good coach. Just stick to the game plan. You're still happy with
the coach, right? No issues with the coach?
Overall, yes. I've got a little problems on defense, but some point, I mean, I just don't have any answers for it. He had one bad game in my mind. Neuheisel had one bad game, and it was against the DC Defenders, just because I know that defense from the back of my hand. I know how to attack it, and he just didn't implement that plan. And it's not too hard. You just throw some bubble screens and things like that, and get some action over there. But running the football, this is a big problem that the Renegades have had since the start of the XFL. They have improved tremendously in that factor, at least this season too, as well. You got Merriweather, 12 for 76 yards in this game. And then we added a guy, Lorenzo Lingard. He played a little in the beginning of the season when Day Hunter was out. Went 5 for 33. Pretty solid performance there. Conclusion, sometimes the offense is good.
Yeah.
That's when the defense sucks. Sometimes the defense is good. That's when the offense sucks. They are finding ways to lose games hand and fist, and it's getting real frustrating to be a team to cheer for.
Yeah, it is. Why'd you get me onto this team? I could have, I don't know, rooted for anyone else. That's not the Gamblers or the Aviators. Nah, I'm fine with this team. This team's good.
At the very least, they've got the skill positions, the secondary. I just mentioned Sean Wade, Stephen Jones. They've got a good front seven. I love their front seven too. They're really good at stopping the run up front, at least in the defensive tackle position. Taco Charlton included. Mm-hmm. They've got the pieces. They've got everything they can be to be a good football team in this league, and it just looks like it's just little things are just not working out, whether it's drop balls, whether it's injuries, whether it's Austin Reed getting the yips mid-season. I mean, it's just thing after thing with this team, and it's still not over for them. I've got the way they can get in, but
they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, it comes down to the one team I'm cheering for that's in the playoff race to fall out. That's the only way they can get in, because they happen to beat them in the regular season. We need a collapse from the St. Louis Battlehawks, and they had a good start with that, at least this week.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
But yeah,
I mean, the defenders might collapse too, but they can't. They're not going to leapfrog the defenders.
We cannot leapfrog the defenders because even if we tie them, they end up beating us in the regular season. So they got it there. So
exactly.
I wish I had better news for the Renegade rundown. Can't wait right now for the regular season to be over because I just want to end this disappointment and get into some playoff football too. So we'll see, but I'll tell you one thing. The chase is looking really entertaining this year in the UFL. So in the last 2 weeks, I think we're going to have some exciting football up ahead.
Yeah, this time last year, the playoff field was set, except for seedings. But then the seedings didn't matter because the league screwed up the host stadiums. That's not a problem this year, as far as I understand, with the host stadiums. I think they got that ironed out. I think they realized that was a mistake. And technically, all 8 teams are still alive for the playoffs through 8 games. So it's going to set up for an exciting finish. I do think we'll have – it might be locked up after this week, though. It wouldn't surprise me if it's locked up after this week.
So he's going to say it'll they're going to lock it in. Well, let's get into it, and we'll start off with the UFL standings just to get an idea of where they're at. And let's get into it with Homer Headlines, Rob.
Yep.
As Rob pointed out after that Week 8 performance, you've got the standings right over here. Orlando's Storm are the only teams to lock it in. I don't understand mathematically how the Columbus Aviators, who are at the bottom of the league, are mathematically still in it. I don't see a scenario in my head where they could pull it off, but there could be point differentials or something like that I'm not seeing.
It must be. But I would assume they were eliminated, but they don't have the E next to their name yet, and then Repoli did tweet out that after this week, all the teams are still in play.
And it doesn't make sense. Usually when one team's locked in, that must mean another team should be locked out, but right? Usually?
Logic would say.
I don't know.
That'll change this week.
Yeah. Rob's pretty convinced that this is all going to get settled this week. I hope not. I hope it's an entertaining round. Speaking of playoff implications, you got this big game over here, and it's not necessarily that the DC Defenders lost 30-33 against the Kings.
I can't
it's the fact that
close.
You thought the Kings were going to blow them out of the water?
Well, Tiamu was gone in the first quarter.
You're completely right. And it wasn't Beam that ended up coming in either. It was Spencer Sanders coming in and overall dealing it out. So Tiamu's out. How do you feel about that right now for the DC Defenders, Rob?
That sucks. It sucks more for Jordan Tiamu because that might be it for his career at this point. He didn't have the best of seasons so far in what was probably a make or break season for him to try to not be the next Louis Perez, who, I mean, yes, Perez had some cups of coffee in the NFL, but never really stuck. But, you know, it was a couple weeks ago when he just was the timing throws, the interceptions that kind of ended it for him. Now he's got this injury. I'm sure the door is open for a UFL return for him, but then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, how many years have I done this? Is it time to move on? Do I need to get into coaching? Do I need to look into doing something else? So hopefully this is not the last we see of Jordan Tiamu, but it could be.
Yeah, with the amount of talent he's had, I'm sure he was expecting to go to the NFL at some point, and it just looked like it didn't work out for him. So I'm right there with you. I think his NFL career is not going to be a thing. Spencer Sanders, though, jumps in, and all things considered, look really good. I mean, he went 7 for 15. I know the yardage doesn't make him look good. 83 yards, one interception. But that one interception was really weird because it looked like a throwaway towards the sideline, and he just didn't throw it away far enough. It was a mistake by far on his end, but it's one of those, okay, you made the right decision. You just didn't expect the Kings to be able to get the interception there, and they did. They did on
and
that.
the Kings are a very good team. At this point, I would say they're a playoff team. I know they're not in yet, but I think they will be.
Yeah, they look pretty good. And one thing that I really like about the Kings too is they're with Rodgers is, and I was saying this when Beam was fighting it out for Rodgers. Rodgers looks like he can just run an offense. I don't think he's nearly as talented as Beam. I think Beam can do stuff that Rodgers never could do. But that being said, you don't really have to. If you're smart with the football, know how to run a intelligent offense, know how to make the right decisions, it's going to work out for you, especially with this Louisville Kings defense who's just stepping up week after week after week.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Rodgers is the right person to guide the ship. He's not going to lose you the game. Bean is someone that, certainly can. He was a little bit more wild. And, I mean, that's probably also why Spencer Sanders started ahead of him. That being said, Spencer Sanders, if he doesn't put up some numbers early in the first half, look for the defenders to switch quarterbacks to get a spark next week because their season is very quickly going to be on the line. They only have to win one of the next two to get in. Possibly they could lose out and still get in depending on tiebreakers and differential. But obviously they want to get a win. So they're going to be playing hard.
Yeah, they definitely want to get a win out there, and it's a big question. I mean, so you're thinking that they should stick to Spencer Sanders until they're in an emergency situation and get Beam in?
Or there's just no spark and you're behind. Yeah, make the switch. But obviously they trust Sanders. Sanders kept it close.
He did a good job too. And he showed some good signs. He's got a hell of an arm out there too. So I think he should be able to jump in and at least keep the motor running. The good news for the DC Defenders, I know everyone's freaking out. I'm seeing it on Twitter all across the space that they're thinking their season's over. You do have a really good, you have a really good offensive coordinator in Fred Keiss. And I think with a guy like Bean, he needs an offensive coordinator like Fred Keiss who just knows how to schematically come up with good systems to make it as easy as possible for the quarterback as possible. And people like Beam or Spencer Sanders can thrive in an offense like this.
Yeah. So the defenders are certainly not out of it. I wouldn't say they're front runners to defend their title at this point without Tiamu, but they're far from out of it. I still think they make the playoffs. I don't think they collapse out of it. I'm not sold on those Stallions yet. We'll see. It's all going to come down to us. I mean, Battlehawks fans are worrying. They don't need to worry. Everyone's freaking out, but I don't know. I think ultimately you see the Storm probably as your top seed. Battlehawks are in there somewhere. DC Defenders might fall down to 4, and then you get the Louisville Kings in probably at 3. But the Kings have no room for error because the Stallions are right there. So,
yeah, and they have a big game coming up next week with a desperate Renegade team coming in that we know they're capable.
Are they desperate?
I would hope so.
Are they just doing what they think they're supposed to do now? They put up 3 wins. And honestly, they looked really good in those first 3 wins, but then you go back and look at who they beat and how they beat them, and you're like, darn it, this was Rob was so wrong. This is a paper tiger the whole way through.
Well, I do say good teams beat bad teams by a lot, and you should. And yeah. You got to be something. You got to be good at something to be able to put up points and beat a quote-unquote bad team. So, I mean, yeah, I get it too, and I just see the raw talent. Renegades are capable of winning football games. Like, they really are. I know it's hard to believe with 5 in a row, but they are capable of doing it. And I think they should be able to. Yeah, overall, so the Louisville Kings, this is a big win against them, or against the Defenders. What?
Yeah, I said for them. We knew what you meant.
Yeah. And the Kings are off and running. Big win, 33-30. We'll see how it pans out for them, but I think they got their ducks in a row. This is the big one that I'm seeing all over Twitter too, is the Gamblers versus Battlehawks, and the Battlehawk Nation freaking down. They are freaking out about this Luis Perez thing.
Their team's fine.
I still think they got the best defense in the UFL. They've shown it.
Every team in this league has dropped at least one game that they really shouldn't have, because this league is a very tight league, except for the Aviators, who somehow got 2 wins, one of them being against the Renegades. Oh, my goodness. But the Aviators can only win if they play you twice in a row and learn enough about you to then beat you in week 2. So they're fine. They're fine.
The big debate was they bring in Luis Perez, and I don't know if we got the score right here. Here it is. We got nope, not that one. Yep, nope.
You saw the king. You saw the king name, and you got excited. Thinking about your king, Luis Perez.
There it is. That's exactly it, Rob. I saw the Kings, and I related to the Luis Perez. So the big question is, I mean, they went out, they got Luis Perez, and Luis Perez was supposed to be this, including me. People like me are saying, this is your savior. This is going to be the guy that's going to end up taking you to the promised land. And then he throws 2 terrible picks in it, and St. Louis Battlehawk fans are losing their mind after that, because they're they're like, why didn't we just keep Harrison Frost out there in this game?
Yeah, it's fine. He's still better than Frost. It's gonna be okay. They get the Gamblers again. I don't like all these back-to-backs. At first,
neither do I.
At first, I thought, it's kind of cool, but it's like, you know what? There's only 8 teams. It's not that hard to create a schedule without all the back-to-backs, and you're not saving anything because everyone is based in the Dallas area anyway. So you're all getting on planes unless you're the Renegades at home or you're playing the Renegades. Everyone else is getting on a plane, so the back-to-backs make no sense. And it's just so it's like, really, we got to see that again.
I don't like the amount. Like, the NFL will do a back-to-back every once in a while. That's okay. It's a new gimmicky thing,
Back-to-back, but they'll do, like, you see it sometimes at the end of the season where you'll play a division rival, then there'll be a week of someone else, and then a division rival again. But it's rare, and it's better that it's rare. But yeah, I will not be tuning into Battlehawks Gamblers. I just won't. I can't watch the Gamblers. I've never been as high on the Spring King as you. But they're going to clinch a playoff berth this week. They're fine.
Yeah, and to answer the question for the Battlehawk Nation, whether they should put Harrison Frost or Luis Perez in, my first thought is, if you put Harrison Frost in this particular game, in this specific game, you just want a safe run offense all the way down the field, play keep away against the Gamblers. Yeah, you actually could. You probably would have won the game, especially with the defense that you had out there as well. But you're not going to get 308 yards, big touchdowns, a 2-minute drive that he took it all the way down from the 10-yard line, from their own 10, all the way back to the the opponent's 4-yard line. Granted, the time did run out on that. You're not going to see Harrison Frost do that kind of stuff. That's a Luis Perez thing, being able to pick apart a defense like he is over there. And yeah, you take the good with the bad. He's not known for interceptions. That's not his MO. He just had a bad game. I mean, it happens, So I say Battlehawk Nation, don't freak out. Now, on the Gambler side, they got Deckers, and Deckers might be their guy. I think.
Functional.
15 for 22, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he just looks like he has a hell of an arm. He can run the football out there. just like last year where they found McGlendon at the end of the year, I think they found their guy. It's just a little too late in the year where they're not going to be able to get into the playoffs in time. But I think they actually have a functional offense, and they look 10 times better with this than they did before with Deckers.
Yeah, and they're building towards something. They'd be right, shockingly right in the playoff chase. Technically, they still are. Had they gotten a win early, but it is what it is. They're not winning this week, anyways. So that's it. That's all.
All right. Not big on the Gamblers or the Battlehawks in Rob's.
The Battlehawks are going to be fine. Luis Perez is going to throw a bunch of jump balls to Hakeem Butler this week, and it's going to be fine. He's going to get 2 to 3 touchdowns from Butler. Life's going to be good. They're going to clinch. Battlehawks fans can take a deep breath, and then it'll be okay.
It'll be all right. Well, did you happen to catch the Stallions and Aviators?
No. Oh, my God, no. And you're saying, well, Rob, the Stallions won 14-3. They're in the 4th playoff spot. Why are you – they won 14. They played down to their competition in those Aviators. If this is really a playoff team, they should have won 30-3. Like, what was this crap? Like, their offense did not look that good. And if they play the way they played against the Aviators in the playoffs, they're one and done. They're going to get blown out.
Even with DTR? You're saying the upcharge of DTR isn't going to make a difference?
How do you have DTR and he doesn't run for at least one more touchdown? It was the Aviators. They suck. Their coach is not good.
I think their defense is coming into form, though.
Their defense is functional, but you have arguably the most talented quarterback in the league on your team if you're Birmingham. And you were smart. You traded for him because, Orlando Storm might be undefeated if they played DTR instead of putting him on the bench. Storm are doing just fine. They're 6-2. I get it. Beck had the guy that he wanted to run the system he wanted to run. It is what it is. And you can only generate 14 points. That means the Stallions don't have functional receivers that DTR can rely on. He can run the ball and he can throw the ball, but he can't also catch the ball.
And that's the thing. DTR, he was not able to run it well at all this game. He only got 7 yards rushing, and I think that my mind, that's a lot of credit to the Aviators. Maybe the offensive line for the Stallions is just garbage.
And that is credit to the Aviators, but DTR is, especially in this league, he is talented enough to use his arm to win if he can't run. If there's no open receivers,
then it's done. And to add to your point, they didn't get the 14 points. They only got 7. It was because of a block kick.
That's true.
It was a block kick.
That's true. I gave them too much credit. I'm giving them too much credit.
Yeah. But
Lieutenant Governor just still hasn't sold me. I know he sold some of the fans, but that's because they look at him with national championship colored glasses.
I don't think the Stallion fans are happy with AJ McCarron. I think it's just more like, okay, maybe they can win with him or whatever. They're happy that their team is winning, but you know what? They want their Skip Holtz back. You know that. Which isn't going to happen probably.
Yeah.
But McGlendon, he goes 20 for 31, 150 yards, 2 interceptions. He is a little turnover guy. He is a turnover. Maybe I like a quarterback though that's got great talent. Like a Jameis Winston type.
He's not going to be in the league next year.
McGlendon? Oh, no.
Not starting.
I think he could start. You just need to give him a good system. You do need to give him a good system. He's leading the league in rushing.
I could imagine there's going to be some quarterback shuffling. Also, I know it was a hot take coming out of the draft, but it would not surprise me to see a Diego Pavia in the UFL this time next year. Same with there's going to be some other DTR type quarterbacks that are going to not have a space anymore. So I think there's going to be some spots that disappear. DC is going to have an open spot. I would imagine St. Louis will. I can't. Luis Perez is going to be fine. Could even lead them to a title this year. I can't imagine that their plan is to keep him as their starter next year. I'd imagine they'd try to go younger.
And I'll tell you one thing, as much as I like Luis Perez, his throw motion looks a little slower than just a couple years ago, man. And I know he's not that old. He's like in his low 30s but yeah, I think he's coming to that time. I think he doesn't look like he has that zip anymore. So it wouldn't shock me if he ended up leaving, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, to sum up this segment, Battlehawks fans, settle down. You're fine. You're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to clinch this week. You might even still win the title this year. Settle down. But you probably won't be beating the Defenders in the title game unless Spencer Sanders really figures it out. And the Stallions still they're not doing it for me.
And I'll tell you one thing, I would not pick against Rob right now because he is starting to get hot as it's getting into the picks, and we will get into that in our next segment, Making Picks with Nick and Rob.
Let's talk about it.
Making Picks with Nick and Rob! Nick and Rob! Their picks might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a corn on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob. No, 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 no.
I called it, Nick. I told you I was going to be in first place after last week.
Well, I don't know about that. You said it was going to be close to the end, right?
I said
no.
I said I was going to take first place.
That's right, actually.
Or I was going to be completely wrong, and you were going to have it locked up. It was one or the other.
Yeah, he swung, and he swung big, and it really worked out for him because in week 8, not that one, Rob.
No.
Yeah, I'm on my game today, buddy. I'm on my game today. We got the picks that we made that week. I went over. Not a single one. Not a single one, Rob. I didn't get one right.
You did not.
That made me feel good.
And you knew you shouldn't have picked Dallas. You knew it.
And yeah. Now the other ones, I took a gamble on the Aviators. I know you're not high on them, but I see things in that football team. I thought they can snake bit the Stallions.
They were in it the whole game. They were in it the whole game.
Doesn't make a difference. I got the 0. I got the X. I got Des Bryant over here. So
it's a new week with new picks. Granted, something tells me you're still going to pick them. Maybe you're not. But, we're not there yet. So Friday night, 8 o'clock on Fox, we got – I think we're both going to end up agreeing on this one. We got the Defenders going to Orlando, taking on not Jake Plummer and that Storm. What do you think's happening?
So the Storm are only favored by 1.5 points, which is kind of shocking. I don't know if Vegas is catch a win on the injury update. Fred Keiss can make anything work, and we'll see who he decides to go with, whether it's Bean or Spencer. But either way, I'm kind of heading towards the Storm. I think they're just more of a stable team. They look a lot better out there. And Anthony Beck, I'll tell you one thing. If I was a gambling man and you're into live betting, my recommendation for when I'm researching on the Orlando Storm,
third quarter.
Don't bet on Orlando Storm in the beginning of the game. Wait till they're down by 10, 17, or whatever they're going to be down by, and then live bet, go with the Orlando Storm. And I guarantee you, Beanie promise, you're going to make money.
You're going with the Storm.
Yeah, I'm going with the Storm, though. I think the Storm are going to pull it off.
Same here. It would not shock me with how this UFL season has gone if the Defenders sneak out a win and essentially lock in their spot in the playoffs, especially because maybe Orlando kind of takes the foot off the gas a little bit. But I'm sure Anthony Beck is like, hey, no, I know this Defenders team. They are good. We cannot let them in. Let's knock them out. Let's get the win right here. Also, I'm pretty sure a win this week, and we'll see how it shakes out, but a win this week, you get to 7 wins, you probably locked up the 1 seed.
Probably.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, it only matters. All it matters is being the one or the two, so you can get a home game because the title game is already locked in for DC. But
We'll see. We'll see. So we're going the same boat there. Orlando
Yeah.
Storm over the DC Defenders. We'll see how that works out. We got Birmingham Stallions against the Columbus Aviators, and the Birmingham Stallions are favored 1.5.
there's two rematches this week.
Yeah. It
But
looks
what do
like
we
it.
know about those Aviators? What do they do in week 2 of a back to back?
I'm picking the Aviators.
what I'm
I didn't
picking.
see. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Week 2 of a back to back, and I apparently really have it in for Birmingham. So as I have all season. The only time the Aviators can win is in week 2 of a back to back. And my goodness, there's 8 teams, and you're telling me this is the third time the Aviators have had to play back to back.
Quite literally, it's been back to back, back to back, back to back.
Repli, you can hire me. I know how to do a schedule.
Okay, and I want to talk about that a little. How unfair is that to the Aviators? That's hard.
Because it's not even balanced. Everyone's got, I think, at least one back to back. Not everyone has 3.
Yeah. What's the expression in football in the NFL when your team is going to play your division opponent in the playoffs and you beat them twice? You go, it's going to be incredibly hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't care who they are.
Just look what happened. It's how it works. But also, it's one thing. NCAA Division I football, 100+ teams. You're not going to have balanced schedules.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL, 32 teams. They do a pretty good job of keeping the schedules really balanced overall because you rotate. You always play your division mates twice. You rotate which division you play in the other conference, and then they match you up with, if you finish second, you're going to play all second place teams. Fourth, all fourth place teams. So overall, it's a fairly balanced schedule, unless, of course, you hate the New England Patriots and want a reason to yell and scream because they happen to have a schedule that was not that great. Look at history. The St. Louis Rams, greatest show on turf, had a worse strength of schedule than those Patriots. There's teams that have had worse. The Chiefs have had a worse strength of schedule and won a title than the Patriots this year. All right, I'll get off my soapbox there. It's not that hard to balance the schedule out. Like, come on. ChatGPT would have done a better job.
Probably. Maybe that's what they did, actually, Rob.
And I know some of it probably has to do with availability because of MLS and all that, but you can still do that job.
Well, yeah, and you're based in Dallas, too, so you can go to different – it doesn't necessarily mean a back-to-back. You can get around whatever you have to get around. I don't know. Something's going on with the Columbus Aviators. I don't get it.
They shouldn't win this game, but they win the second of a back-to-back. They're 2 for 2 on it, so I think they go 3 for 3.
Yeah, they learn their opponent, know how to attack it, and they do a good job. And I do actually, weirdly, I never thought I'd say this, I trust Ted Ginn Jr.'s coaching staff for this kind of stuff.
You've got a good staff.
Yeah, you got Todd Haley out there doing what he's doing, and he's really good at scheming up an offense to help him out. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Unfortunately, I can't play too risky, but it just makes sense to me. I think the Aviators are going to win that one as well. This is our next one. I'm done. I don't want to pick them anymore. You got the Renegades against the Louisville Kings. Finally, the Renegades aren't favored, so we got that going for me. Now we're the underdogs. Let's see how we approach that. Rob, who do you got going on in this game?
It should be the Louisville Kings. They should slide into a playoff spot after the Stallions blow it. So I'm picking the Renegades.
Well, I'm not going to veer too much. The only reason why I'm doing this now has nothing to do with homerism, is if the Renegades do win this game, it's pure chaos. That's going to be another team, 4-5, going into it.
And then I do think Renegades, Kings, And if we're right, Stallions all at 4-5.
It's a team that you want to keep out if you're other teams too, because I think they can jump up and go get you at any point. So
full logic says take the Kings, and the Kings are probably going to win by 10. But you know what? The Renegades love to zig when everyone else is zagging. They're somehow going to win this one.
I'm right there with you, and I'm not saying it like logically or anything like that. I just think, after 5 losses in a row, this team should not be 3-10 at the end of the, or 3-7 at the end of the year. They're going to get something. I don't know. They're going to win a game.
If
they have to.
It's got to be this week because I think they finish against the Battlehawks.
Heck yes, that'll get them in, which would mean the Battlehawks would have to lose against the Gamblers. Now, talk about a conundrum on my boat. The only way the Renegades can get into the playoffs in my book is Luis Perez going down to the Gamblers. I don't think it's going to happen. Give me Luis Perez. I think Luis Perez is going to beat the Gamblers.
Gamblers aren't winning 2 in a row against the Battlehawks. Battlehawks are going to win. And give me the over on whatever their prop is for Hakeem Butler touchdowns.
Yeah, Rob put it at 4.5. 4.5.
I'd still take the over.
I think it's one.
That's what should happen.
Yeah, and I think he will get his opportunity. The Gamblers do not have the best secondary in the UFL. Now, what they are good at is their front 7, and they can give Luis Perez a hard time. He's not a mobile quarterback. Deckers is an interesting case. I just think you're going against the best defense right now in the UFL right now. I think the Battlehawks are dialed in on the defensive front, and I expect Deckers to go down quite some time in this game. That was relatively boring, though. I mean, so we picked straight all across the board, huh?
Yeah, I guess I hold on my lead for one more week.
Yeah, one more week. Now we still have playoffs, Rob. We still have the playoffs, so that's gonna. I can't panic. I just got to pick what I think right now, and then I'll start doing some wild stuff towards the end.
The only wild thing that we did this week is say that the Renegades are going to somehow win. They shouldn't win. They probably won't win. But we're probably both going to go 3-1 this week.
Yeah. And picking Aviators on any game right now, especially for you, is kind of, but like you said, it's the back-to-back factor.
That's the one thing they can do.
Okay. Lots going on in other sports. We actually did a pretty good job on time. So we'll have some.
Well, we might actually have an hour. We'll see.
Possibly pull it off. Let's go ahead and kick it off into other sports.
Dun, dun, dun.
Said other sports.
So there's not really much exciting happening in Boston. I'm going to give my quick hit on the one exciting thing, and then I want to give you the floor for the breaking news out of Dallas. This whole Stephen A. Smith, Jaylen Brown thing, wow, is it lame? Is Stephen A. Smith trying his best? Is he trying to speak into existence Jaylen Brown getting traded for Giannis? Like, this is it shouldn't even. He shouldn't be focused on this. The Knicks are still in the playoffs. That's where his focus should be. Oh, but hey, this is how he makes his millions. Jaylen Brown should just take the high road and ignore him, but I'm also here for it. If he's going to fire back, I'm all for it. Stephen A. Smith, and he did this last year too. He did it in their championship year. He really wants to drive a wedge between Tatum and Brown. They're friends. They both know that they make each other better. There is no wedge. And yes, is it weird that Jaylen Brown said this was his favorite season? Sort of, yes, because he's got a ring in an NBA Finals MVP. But I get where he's saying, where people always talk about him being like the Pippen to Tatum's Jordan. I am Jason Tatum. I am not comparing you to Jordan. Don't worry. If I was going to compare you to anyone to make you happy, I'd probably say Kobe, but you're not Kobe. All right. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, as far as the team, the 1 to 1A thing. And this year he had to be the number one guy. And this was a team everyone said is going to be in the lottery. They might be in the bottom 3 or 4 picks. And instead they weren't, and they should have won the East. So I get why Brown's saying that it's his favorite season, because he simply is able to say, hey, look, I can do it too. So I get that. Stephen A. Smith, go worry about the Knicks.
Yeah, it was a really weird situation where Jaylen Brown ended up saying basically to Stephen A. Smith, hey, you are only clickbait. That's a type of journalism that you do out there. And then what was Stephen A. Smith's response? It was clickbait.
And Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room? How the organization might think about you? How the city may feel about you? How Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you? Sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch trying to do what I do and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense.
So he does clickbait.
You know what? But you know what? He's got millions, and we have our YouTube channel. Who would you rather be? Clearly us. With our YouTube channel.
Right, yeah, because we keep good, honest reporting, good journalism out there. We don't do journalism except for my fan articles at best, but no journalism. I'm not investigating anything.
Dude, there's some guy, I don't follow him, but I keep checking in on him. He's got some sort of mental problem on X. I'm not going to name him, but because I don't want to give him that much oxygen. He is still nonstop reporting and digging on the Vrabel Rossini thing and turning over every rock he can and going live for this, going live for that, dropping bombshell report. Dude, they cheated. It was stupid. Move on.
It's really weird because, I mean, how deep could the conspiracy go? I mean, I think we got it. I think we're good. Does a husband every once in a while, and especially if you have a lot of money, happen to tangle with a nice looking female? Yeah, it's not much of a story, dude.
It's not that deep. Is it stupid? Oh yeah, it's that stupid, but it's not that deep. Yeah. But on to bigger and better things in Dallas.
Cleaning house. Yuri is saying, I am the co-governor. That's the title that he got from DeMont, which is basically DeMont saying, please wash my hands from this whole entire situation. Do what you got to do. Go get the fans back. And at any point, because I'm losing on season ticket sales, I'm doing terrible right now. I thought the Cooper flag would help. It's not helping. I thought firing Nico would help. It's not helping. Maybe a winning basketball team. Maybe.
On the plus side, you could get into games real cheap last year.
You really could. And you know what? Sadly, I think you talked about getting tickets or whatever, and you went to a game. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I went to probably what was probably Flag's worst game of his whole season.
Yeah, he started off a little cold.
Just gonna go again next year.
But yeah, and I still think you have a really good opportunity right now because Dallas is still just recovering from that bombshell that, from 2 years ago when you are supposed to be chasing, you're supposed to be up there with the San Antonio Spurs and OKC. You are sitting here bragging and celebrating that you fired your coach. Jason Kidd is out. Gone. No more. I love it. I love every aspect of this. Nothing on Jason Kidd. Okay. So, Rob, I don't know how much you follow Mavericks before this or anything like that.
Loosely in the Texas news. So,
yeah. And he is the more the that's coming out, especially with the Dallas journalists just investigating what the hell is going on in the Mavericks land, the more you're finding out that Jason Kidd is a snake. He is a little bit of a snake, man. He is very political.
He's always been. Remember how he left? Was it when he left the Bucks, or was it when he left the Nets to go to the Bucks? It was one or the other, and he just
both.
Yeah, he left him high. He just leaves people high and dry.
And the organization doesn't like the way he runs tactics, and it looked like and keep in mind, I'm reading tea leaves, I'm reading rumor mills, I'm reading people like your guy that's going after Vrabel right now. But this guy,
not my guy.
But everything that I could see is it looked like he was trying to do a coup d'etat on trying to get Nico's job at some point. And if you see the reports and his staff or someone was reporting that he was possibly going to be the president of basketball operations right before Nico Harrison even got fired. And so I think you bringing in Yuri probably sniffed that out or something like that. I don't know what's going on out there. Probably realize I don't want to play politics with you. I don't want you to be the captain. I want you out of here. How about that? Get out of here and call it a day. Now, you reported just before the show that it was mutual leaving. You could call it what you want, and we don't want to disparage him too much because Jason Kidd, let's grant it, took us to 2 Western Conference Finals, took us to a finals game with his boy Luka, and would never have done it without Luka. But, nonetheless, you're still the coach that was responsible for getting that team over there and did a good job getting them there. It's good that I think you just need to wash your hands of that whole situation. Anyone involved, anyone you suspect might be involved, anyone the fans might suspect you're involved, whether it's fair or unfair to that individual, you just get them out. Get them out. You already got AD out. You already got Nico out. Why not just go get Jason Kidd out? The big question is, who are we going to hire? I don't know. It's basketball. You can. There's someone out there. There's someone out there.
I got an idea. I got an idea. He's legendary. So legendary, he had to tell the team he was coaching this year to look him up on Google because that's how good he is. Doc Rivers. That's who you guys want. You want Doc Rivers.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, I will forever love Doc Rivers for that title in 2008 for the Celtics. Should have been 2. Injuries kind of messed it up.
And LeBron be LeBronin.
But I love how Doc left because he didn't want to deal with a rebuild. And the Celtics got themselves back to the finals multiple times and a title. And Doc never saw any of that ever again.
Yeah, it was really bizarre, too, because I was a big Doc Rivers fan. I was a huge Doc Rivers fan. I even liked him when he went to the Clippers. But I don't know. I think his last stops just didn't work out. If you're looking at just rebuilding a team, kind of like you did for the 70s, well, no, 76ers were already built. Clippers were already built.
And then
we're not built. We don't have time.
He keeps making teams worse wherever he goes.
Yeah, he's the kiss of death. Now, you do have Cooper Flagg, which, man, he's good. Cooper Flagg can be something, but this whole Wemby situation, I don't know how you can. I don't know who could stop this guy, Wemby out there. So I think
you know what? It's too bad Mike Malone went to UNC. He would have been awesome for y'all. He was the Nuggets coach when they got their title.
Could be him. He everyone has little faults and things like that, but right now we just need a guy. Yurdy has plenty of contacts. We have a good scouting department that just got brought on board. By the way, that scouting department, I forgot the guy's name, but he was spotting Luka Doncic back when he was like 13. So and writing reports about how this kid's going to be a phenom over there. So scouting wise, we're going to do good. But I also think Yurdy has plenty of contacts. A lot of people like to work with him. I think we're in good shape. I think we're in good shape whoever we decide to hire. And I don't think he's going to fire someone without already having someone in mind. Or even if he doesn't.
What about Billy Donovan? Would you want Billy Donovan?
Billy Donovan. Sure.
Coach for the Thunder for a while. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Coach for the Thunder,
Yeah.
coach for the Bulls, won a few titles when he was Florida's head coach.
Maybe. It may be for growing this team like he did for OKC. So if you're just looking for like a stopgap coach just to try to get Cooper Flagg and whoever you're going to draft in this 9th round up to snuff, maybe. I think if you get a Billy Donovan type, I would expect a trade from Kyrie. Like we're going to put Kyrie on the market and try to build a young team out there. If you're trying to turn it around now, I wouldn't go Billy Donovan.
So the only 2 other names I'm going to throw out at you. You could stay in-house, bump Frank Vogel up.
Nah.
You want a clean break.
Good. Yeah.
The other one, I think it gets you into the playoffs quick, but it's risky, and I don't think should last more than 3 years. The real reason the Celtics won the title in 2008, the guy that was a defensive coordinator that year, and plus having KG helps, Tom Thibodeau.
I like Tom Thibodeau a lot. I like him a lot.
Not a big rotation guy is his problem.
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues, but I'll tell you one thing. He's got high demand for his players, and his players, after he leaves, what I'm looking for is a stopgap coach. And if you're telling me Tom Thibodeau is a stopgap coach, I would actually take Tom Thibodeau in just because he's going to demand a lot from his players, and I've always been a fan of that, but I just think he wears them out before the end of the season, and then before you know it, you're not going to be able to win. But yeah, I take Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, I want a hard-nosed coach right now.
It'd be a good culture reset. Good culture reset.
Yeah, just kind of like re-gear it, and then I don't have stats on this. I've always wondered about this. This is in football. This is in basketball, whatever baseball even. When you have a hard-nosed coach in any sport, and then you bring up a softer coach that's a little bit more zen later, that team seems to respond well to the zen coach, but they have the discipline of the hard-nosed coach beforehand. It's a good mesh that can end up winning you a lot of things, but that's kind of what I'm gearing towards, just some coach just to get the culture back in line. I'm not looking at titles yet. I mean, we have the talent to make it to the playoffs. I don't think that's too ridiculous, especially with our 9th round pick over there. Cooper Flagg, Lively, Kyrie Irving.
Thibodeau gets a healthy roster for the Mavericks into the playoffs.
Yeah, easily. And I think you got to stop looking at like full rebuild and tanking at this point, because you got to start getting Cooper Flagg into a winning culture. I think that's going to be very important for him. But I'll tell you one thing. What I like about this conversation is I'm engaged. Like I'm talking Mavericks.
You're
back,
talking
baby.
Mavericks. You're back. You're back.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm glad we're moving on from him and done. I am so happy that Jason Kidd's out. So good luck, Jason Kidd. Hope you do well wherever you go. Hey, why don't you go join the Lakers or do that?
You know, he's going to get, maybe he won't get a job for this next year. He's probably going to go TV or something, but someone will hire him again if he wants to coach again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he actually is a pretty good coach, especially on the defensive front. You got to put up with some BS, so and most of the time his stars liked him. I'm sure Cooper Flagg didn't hate him too much, and then Giannis was he talks about Jason Kidd and what he did for him. But then he does something like, I don't know if he was involved in it or whatever the case may be with Luka. I don't know the details yet, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm really interested because he is a spin machine and he likes to spin stories. Get ready. He's going to talk about what happened in the last 2 years. So he's either going to be pointing blame on people, which would be entertaining.
It depends on how his contract language is worded. If there's anything in it about you can't disparage, et cetera, then he's not gonna until he's got all his money, and then he'll talk.
Yeah. He might. Yeah.
But he's still got 4 years. He's still got 4 years and $40 million left. So.
You're right. I'd be quiet for $40 million. I would go. Well, what do you want me to do? No problem. No problem. I'll shut my mouth and make the 40 million. But yeah, that's all I got for the other sports. I know the PGA Championship, that was a weird one. No name.
It was
ended up.
We ended up getting some more exciting news to go more in depth, but I really enjoyed this year's PGA. Aaron Rai earned it. I was shocked because he had his chance to put a stranglehold on it, and he blew up at the end of the third round, but didn't blow up far enough to fall off the leaderboard. And he came back with some unbelievably clutch play. He is very accurate, and he is very good and consistent on the greens. And that's what this course demanded. Rory was whining after the second round, saying it's not a true test because no one's separated. Well, you know what? Scores were there to be had. Kurt Kitayama shot a 63 on the final on Sunday. There were multiple 65s, including by Aaron Ray, who won it. So McIlroy just didn't get it done, and that's okay. It's golf. You're not going to get it done every week. John Rahm came in second. You didn't hear him throwing a fit about, it wasn't a good test. Major championship golf, like 2 years ago, Xander was 21 under to win. Everyone was weighing, that's not major championship golf. Don't give me that crap. A major champion, the score should either be single digits under par or just like maybe 12 under, or maybe you have like, a Tiger or early career Rory situation where everyone else is at 2 under or less, and then you're up ahead at 15 because you separated. That's fine. That's good. But you know what? I really enjoyed this PGA. It was a lot of fun. Will Aaron Ray ever win another one? I don't know. But you know what? He's now locked into – I'm going to throw this out there. He's locked into Augusta now for at least the next 5 years. Granted, he was already qualifying there every year because of his consistency in his world ranking. He's a top 50 player. Now he's got even more cracks at it. Someone like that who's super accurate and can putt, if he's going to get another one, I think it's a green jacket.
That'd be cool. And it looks like he's working really hard too. I was hearing a lot of reports that, they would leave the golf course and he's, after practicing putting or something, and he was still on the driving range with the lights on all the way up till 9 p.m. So,
and he's always granted. His wife's also a professional golfer, so they're constantly helping. Like he talks about it. He gives her tons of credit. He learns a lot from her. They're constantly battling, and flat out, he says she beats him more than I beat her in their games. So that makes it fun.
Am I gone or gone?
It might be me. The storm's bad here.
Mine's bad too. Yeah. I heard that.
So, yeah. So
well, cool.
We should probably try to wrap it up if we're still functional.
Yeah, we probably should. So Rob, before we need to shelter in place from this storm that's coming in, where should they find us? How should they see our content?
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking at our wonderful faces right now and you've been listening to us for 2 minutes or the last hour and 8, thank you. You have found us either on X. That's hilarious. That camera followed you, Nick. You found us on X. Go ahead, give us a like, give us a follow there. Or you found us on YouTube. Same thing. Give us a like, give us a follow. We're also on Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok. Just search Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Depending on which one, there might be some hashtags or this or that, underscores to get our name. But search Nick and Rob Homer Hour and we will pop up. Give us a like, give us a follow. TikTok, we release all our shorts there. We get other posts and other stuff happening on the other channels. You'll see us once a week on Tuesday nights with the occasional live stream with the UFL playoffs coming up soon. I'm sure we'll have a playoff live stream to tell you all about in a little bit. But if the internet hasn't died yet, we should probably sign off, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, if we make it out alive after the storm. I shouldn't joke like that, but all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Big storm.